2024 was a big year of change for me. There were so many changes in my personal life, there were changes in my career life, there were changes in my financial life. A lot of the things that I have prayed for, that I have envisioned for myself, came to pass. But with those answered prayers and those dreams coming to reality were also some of the things that I didn't anticipate would happen. And they taught me some crucial lessons. The first lesson is that with big goals and big dreams will come big sacrifices and big responsibilities. And you have to prepare yourself for those as well. I feel like when we are dreaming and vision boarding and script writing the life that we want to create, it's so easy to focus on the things that you want: the happy marriage, the children, the financial freedom, the career, like the dream home, all of those things. However, not a lot of us think of the sacrifices and the responsibility that will come with having those things. With every goal, with every dream that you have for yourself, it's so important to also think of the sacrifices and the responsibilities that will come with those goals, that will come with those dreams coming to reality, and ask yourself if you are willing to pay the price to have those things in your life, to make the sacrifice to have those things in your life. Are you willing to make the sacrifice to have the body that you want? Are you willing to make the sacrifices to have the marriage that you want, to have the health that you want, to have the kind of money that you want to have in the bank? Not a lot of us think about that, because if you think about what it will cost you to create the life that you want for yourself, there are certain things you just may no longer want to pursue for yourself. I had dreams of, financial growth, the family that I wanted, the kind of marriage that I wanted. I still have a strong dream of the body that I want. But with everything has come added responsibilities. For me to have my dream body, I would need to wake up by 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to work out for at least 45 minutes, because that's the only time I can really throw in a workout during the day, because I also have to work. I would have to mind what I eat. I would have to cook more of my meals at home. And while those things sound mundane, like, oh my gosh, I just cook your meals at home, the truth is, when you have a full-time job and you also have a family and you have all these other responsibilities, it can become very difficult to manage all of them together. So while I'm, thinking about the things that I need to do at my full-time job and the things that we're trying to do in our marriage and the things that we're trying to achieve financially, I now also have to make time to prep food for myself. And I have to wake up in the mornings to go work out, even though I genuinely just want to lay in bed in the morning and just do nothing. So every goal, every dream comes with its own responsibilities. And before you start to envision and dream and all of that, it's so important that you understand what the price is that you would have to pay to create that for yourself, and accept it and prep yourself for what that would look like. Understand what the price is, understand what the sacrifices are, and make that part of your planning process for the life that you want for yourself. Make that part of the planning process for the, how you're going to get where you're trying to go. The next lesson that 2024 taught me is it doesn't get easier, you just get better. I remember when I first got into entrepreneurship, the second business that I launched, I made it all about helping people have it easier when it comes to starting a business. And what I've realized from 2024 is that the more you grow, the more responsibilities are going to come with that growth. And it's not going to get easier. Especially if you're someone who you have goals, you have dreams, you have things that you want to achieve. If you're someone who has dreams and you're being intentional about the life that you want for yourself, it's not going to get easier, because every new level that you attain when it comes to your goals will come with its own responsibilities. And the only way to survive and thrive through that process is to accept that. And instead of wishing that it was easier and wanting it to be easier, is to begin to work on yourself to be better. The most important project that you will work on if you want to achieve big goals and create the life that you want to create for yourself is you. That's it. I feel like while I've always known this, while I've always heard people say it, 2024 was the year where I was like, yeah, it's not gonna get easier. The more I grow and achieve new things, the more responsibilities come. So I would have to work on being better. I would have to work on bettering my skills, on bettering my knowledge, on building my character, on like the things that I struggle with, I would have to work on them. The strengths that I have, I will have to keep working on them, because that's the only way you're going to thrive, not just manage through. Like that's the only way you're going to be able to thrive as you grow, but also like multiply and manage the resources that you're giving as you achieve the goals that you are achieving for yourself. It's by getting better, not wishing it was easier. The third lesson that 2024 taught me is the most important trait to look for when you're marrying somebody is kindness. There are changes that had to come for me to be able to step into a place of financial growth, and those changes would have been so difficult to implement if I was married to somebody that was selfish, that was only thinking about themselves, that was not secure in himself as a person. If I was married to someone that wasn't kind. Growing up, my dad would always say, when you're thinking of who to marry someone that has a conscience, someone that treats you how they would treat themselves. And that has proven to be so true. So if you're watching this video and you're dating or looking to settle down, it's so important to make sure that whoever you are investing time and energy into is someone that is kind, is someone that would treat you the way they treat themselves, is someone who, in making decisions, puts your needs at the same level of importance as their own. Because at the end of the day, if you're married to someone who doesn't care about you in that way, who they love you, but they love themselves more, and they would always prioritize their needs more than your needs, it's very difficult for you to thrive, especially as a woman. While we live in a world where everyone is screaming high value man, high value woman, I honestly feel like the most high value thing a person can have is empathy, is kindness, is genuine love and understanding of what that is. The fourth lesson that 2024 taught me is that financial freedom is a necessity. Growing up, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad, and in the book, Robert Kiyosaki, who is the writer, talks about the rat race. And I never really understood what the rat race meant until corporate America showed me what the rat race meant. There are societies like where I come from in Nigeria, where being entrepreneurial comes with your ability to survive. Like, you cannot just depend on your 9 to 5 for survival unless you're doing 9 to 5 at a certain level. So like you're working for international companies. Most people, yes, they have their 9 to 5s, but the society also allows you to have a life. It allows you to have family time. It allows you to have, personal time. It allows you to have a business or two on the side. You're going to find that is very common in Nigeria. In the US, however, it's a very different culture. The way corporate America is designed is not for you to have a life. Family is not prioritized. Your ability to build financial freedom is not prioritized, because the goal is to keep you working and churning 24/7. And that's not bad. It's just the way the society is built. Now, when you're in the rat race, it's also easy to get super comfortable, especially if you're earning, a fairly good income. Like, everybody in the US wants to be earning 6 figures. But incidents of 2024 taught me how fragile that is. I realized how much people need to be in places financially where when things come up, you can actually help your family. You can help yourself. You're not shaking by it. And it's not going to happen by just doing what every other person is doing or living an average life when it comes to your finances. So if you have been joking around about your money, not taking your finances seriously, just saying, well, everybody lives this way, so that's fine. If you have been blaming the economy, blaming the government for where you are financially, I would say make 2025 the year you start to change that, because there are people earning less than you probably, who are in a better place financially. Financial freedom doesn't necessarily have to do with how much you earn all the time. Yes, there are situations where how much you earn impacts it, but I've noticed for the majority of people, it's not necessarily how much you earn. It's what you do with what you earn. And a lot of people don't want to accept that truth. A lot of people don't want to accept responsibility for their finances until somebody opens a spreadsheet and shows them how they're actually spending their money. Just it's a very dangerous place to be if you are not building financial freedom for yourself. Whether that's going to take 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever that looks like, I think it should be high on the priority list for people when it comes to their lives. We kind of grow up being told money is not everything. And I agree, money is not everything. I agree, money doesn't buy you happiness. However, money buys you comfort so that you can do the things that would bring you happiness. Money buys you good health, because when you are sick and you need to go to the hospital and the doctor is charging you crazy amounts, money would buy you the peace of mind to pay your hospital bill, to help your kid if they fall sick, to help your family members when they need it. Without money, it's very difficult to help anybody, talk less of help yourself. So I strongly believe that it is key for us all to prioritize financial freedom. 2024 just taught me how important it is for us all to prioritize financial freedom, to not get stuck in the rat race and be comfortable. The next lesson that 2024 has taught me is that whatever you give out to the world, that's what you're going to get back. Whatever you fear the most people doing to you is most likely what you do to other people without knowing. I have always had this strong fear of people judging me and seeing me as incompetent. But 2024, I realized that the reason why I have this fear is because I go through the world judging other people. And so for me, I felt like, well, I judge people. People definitely have to be judging me as well. And that kind of breeds this need to be a certain way, to look a certain way, to appear a certain way. If you go through life without judging people, without, putting people on pedestals and then judging them when they don't perform at that pedestal, it will be very difficult for you to think other people are doing the same to you. A lot of people who move in the world with this fear of judgment are often people who judge. If we're being honest, we are out here judging other people. And so we have this fear of being judged ourselves. People who are so scared of being judged in social media, check. You just might have a tendency to judge other people's content, to judge and be like, oh my gosh, how is this person even doing this? I could never, this is so cringy. And then when you start to want to put yourself out there, that fear comes up, like, I don't want people to think I'm cringy, because you have thought other people are cringy in one way or the other. I'm saying all of this to say, if you want to get more grace in the world, you have to be willing to give grace. If you want to get more love in the world, you have to be willing to give love. You cannot want something from other people that you are not willing to give. Whatever you want to get out of 2025 from other people in this life, if you're looking to get more respect, more love, more warmth, be the embodiment of that thing. And the last lesson that 2024 taught me is that all emotions are welcome, all behaviors are not. You are always responsible for your behavior. Doesn't matter if the other person is a dick. Doesn't matter if they are a horrible person. You are always responsible for your behavior. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't be angry or that you shouldn't, have a reaction or whatever. It's what it means is you are responsible for that. You cannot say the other person made me do this. And this is so difficult. Recently, a family member did something that hurt me so much, and I did something I wasn't proud of. And my sister was calling me out on it, and I was like, yeah, because they did X. And she's like, nope, you are always responsible for your behavior. You cannot say XYZ person made me do this. No, you're not a baby. You get? So for me, that has been super eye-opening. Something that my coach at work would say is you can feel your feelings, you can have your thoughts, but the behavior, which is the output of all of that, that is your responsibility. You cannot control your thoughts sometimes. You cannot control your feelings sometimes, but your behavior, you can always control. So that is changing the way I'm thinking about how I react to things. It's changing the way I'm thinking about how I show up at work, how I show up in my family, how I show up with my friends. So I think when you think about it that way, you start to really ask yourself, like, who do I want to be in the world? How do I want to navigate? It gives you more sense of control in doing that. So when someone does something, it's like, in my head, I'm going to take a second, because like I could react in 100 million ways. And regardless of what they have done, I am the one in control of how I behave, and I'm the one responsible. So when people start to say, how could she do that? That's me. That's all me. It's not because XYZ person did something. It's me. I decided to take that action. So it's really changing how I'm showing up in the world. It's helping me kind of grow. It doesn't mean I'm not going to mess up, because I'm a person. I'm going to mess up. It just means that I am just stepping into a place of way more ownership of my behavior as a person. And I think that that is such an important place to stay and to be if you want to grow. And this is not just like financial growth, but grow in your relationships, grow as a partner, as a wife, as a husband, as a friend, is that you are always responsible for your own behavior. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye.